And we are live.
Monday. It's Monday, right? Yeah.
It is Monday. It is Monday, July 11th, 2022.
We're already in the double digits. Jesus Christ. I know. It is. I mean, really, it's like we're going to be in September before we know it, you know? Next September.
Blink. Oh no, it is September 17th, 2024.
Oh, even worse.
We're just gonna skip. Yeah. All right, you ready for this intro?
Yeah, go hit it.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo-kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
The waters have calmed down, and life has started returning to normal for Ivy. Until a young, dark boy shows up with interesting secrets to reveal to her. How will this impact her relationship with Violet? And will the raven-haired woman finally open her eyes to the harpy in front of her?
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at? A Catch the Craze podcast. What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the Craze! Making moves on your own. Catch the Craze! On your grind in the streets. Catch the Craze! Join the movement. Catch the Craze!
Boom. I got
to
edit Nina's video for her.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like it cut off really suddenly at the end.
It does cut off because the long version of the video is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is a little more airtime than I can spare.
Yeah.
But we need a card on there, and I have the card. I'm just going to attach it to the end of the video.
But I gotta remember to support that campaign because I gotta finally replace the copies I lost in the flood. So I didn't even get a chance to read it, and I lost it. I mean, even though I bought the PDFs, I much prefer hard copies. So that's just the way it is, and I have just enough space on my shelf. So. Oh my goodness. So welcome everybody to another Monday here at the Ragin factory. It was just a weekend of troubleshooting, that's for sure. It's like I guess it's like if we're gonna add one more thing for everybody to make sure they do is check your lint filters.
Oh my gosh, isn't that the truth?
So check your lint your lint filters to make sure that your air conditioning units and your dryers are working properly. So there you go. So hello, my name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I've been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which is in its last 40-ish hours on Kickstarter. We're so close to breaking 3K and unlocking the last trading card stretch goal. So we're very close. Could we make 4K and unlock that metal bookmark in that time? A lot can happen. Who knows? But you know what? At least let's get us to unlock that last trading card so that I can have the entire collection of covers for Thieves Quest in a trading card set that I can do something with or whatnot. You know, it's like that's, you know, I really enjoy seeing all the covers all at once. But also, I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is also currently on Kickstarter right now in pre-launch. The actual campaign launches on August 22nd. And boy, do I have some goodies coming up for this, for this campaign. So make sure you sign up on the pre-launch page to hit the notify button so that it notifies you the second it goes live, because you don't want to miss out on some of the cool stuff I'm going to have for the first backers or first day backers, or however it works out, you know, on whatever happens when the thing goes live. That's what it is. So, but in the meantime, before that campaign goes live, check out and read both of my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWRKS. And you can also check out all my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lager, which also simulcasts through the Ragin 2 network. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you also get notified when any of our videos go live. And there's a lot of videos. We have a lot of shows on the Ragin 2 network for you to check out. You will find something, you know, there's something for everybody, you know, we have here. So there you have it. So Nita, tell the peoples who you are.
My name is Nita Lanning. I am the blue-eyed savage in the mouth of the South. I am the executive producer of the Ragin 2 Indie Comics Network, and that's it.
Right, yeah. And rap god.
Rap god.
And rap
cleaner of air ducts.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like I said, it was, you know, lots of troubleshooting this weekend. So, welcome everybody. So, who's in our lovely chat today? Who's joining us?
We got Pops and Glenn Fleming and Frog and Hojo and Patrick is here and Carl is here.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Welcome to another Monday. And here we have 8 secret people watching us. At least that's what it says on my end here. It's like, welcome. I know all you shy people watching us from regions beyond. Like I said, if you are watching us from Facebook, if you're watching us from links on Twitter or anywhere else, you found links to our channel, come on over to YouTube, click on the subscribe button, join our sexy people in the chat. You know, it's a lot more fun over here. But you know, I understand if you just watch from where you're at. You know, it's like sometimes we need that distance, and that's fine.
Your shyness is adorable.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so we love you all. We love everybody. So,
well, not everybody, Dad.
Well, that's true. That's true. We don't know everybody. So.
And some of you we know, and we don't really care.
Right?
For you,
yeah,
but,
you know. So it happens. It happens. You know. So what else? What else is going on in housekeeping?
Okay, so there's a couple of things going on. First, I want to address what's going on with the network, because there's been a couple of comments about the little changes we've been making. We've kind of started taking our own advice. We were talking about aesthetics.
Yes.
And so you'll notice that some of our intros will be different. Not just that, a lot of the cover cards are changing for the shows. Also the name change. We dropped Broadcast Network and we changed it to Ragin 2 Indie Comics Network. Mostly to be more specific.
Yeah.
in the beginning, after Meredith passed away, when we were rebranding, we kind of were rushing to get everything off to a start. And so now that we've had time to start collecting ourselves and whatnot, we're bringing together the image that we are creating together. And so there's slight changes. It's rebranding without rebranding.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think it's like, because I agree. It's like when in the beginning, it's like we really were kind of like rushing to put all this together, and I don't know, we just didn't think about everything. And right. I think that we're at a point now that it's like, okay, we know where we want to focus and how we want to focus, and I think it just makes more sense. It's like because Ragin 2 Broadcast Network, that could mean anything, right? But Ragin 2 Indie Comics Network, I mean, there you go. I mean, I kind of think that that's a natural progression to what we're doing. I mean, that's exactly what we're doing. We promote indie comics. We talk about indie comics. We talk about social media marketing for indie comics. So it only makes sense that be in our title somehow. So what surprised me, though, is the fact that people kind of were surprised at that. I mean,
I don't know if they were surprised or just curious as to why I made the changes.
I thought it was a non-issue.
It was a non-issue to me, especially on the promo page, because I was getting really annoyed with memes and toys and just the indie pull boxes with Image and Dark Horse.
Right.
And okay, you know what? If that's your definition of indie comics, fine, but I am looking for independent creators who are paying out of their own pockets to support themselves and crowdfunding and that type thing. I'm not looking to market for Image or whatnot. They have their own people that they pay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, guys.
So they don't need us to promote,
right? So I made sure that I was real specific in the wording on the promos page, that's where we're headed. Also, another thing that I am going to ask is I'm going to ask people to stop memeing to advertise their comics if they want to utilize the Ragin promos page, because the Ragin promos page is for marketing. If I do not know your product and you're throwing memes out there like I'm supposed to understand what you're doing, you're marketing wrong. So I will also be pulling those off the page as well. And I'm not saying don't throw a meme out there if it's a comic related meme that's funny or whatever, but not to promote, to sell.
Right.
That's not what it's about.
Right. I mean, it's like we've been seeing a lot of that, and it's like you see in our experience, our personal experience, our personal opinion. Look, it's like, look, I mean, look, they suck. Okay. It's like they kind of, when you're using it, when you're using memes as pretty much the sole way of advertising your comic, you're turning off a lot of people. You're having you're kind of having the opposite effect of what you're trying to do with your comic. I mean, if you want to and that's the thing. It's like, if you want to slip in a meme somewhere, it's like that actually makes sense with your campaign.
Right.
That's fine. We're not saying don't use that thing at all. When I first did Eagle Raven, I was kind of doing something similar to that too. But the thing is, though, I made sure to always have it relate to the comic. But what I've been seeing a lot, what we've been seeing a lot, is that we're seeing memes that have such a tangential relationship with right, exactly. It's like it has such a tangential relationship with the actual comic that it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And sometimes there are some memes that don't mean what you think it does.
Right.
In terms of your comic. So all I can say is that, really, really think about like how you're advertising your book. You know what people want to see? They want to see your artwork.
Frog's got an elevator pitch.
Ah, there we go. Well, here we go. Cursed by a voodoo princess, Jeremiah must undertake a quest by death itself to kill a god to restore his humanity and save the woman he loves.
And a
there
launch
you go.
date.
There we go. Launch date, September 17th. Look, I mean, it's like, there you go. You don't need a meme. You don't need a meme. You either get them or you don't in that elevator pitch right there. So if this is a book that you're interested in, the link is in the chat. And it's like, yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. More elevator pitches, less memes. Because like I said, it's like I find a lot of the memes really unfunny. It's like, because they don't really work in the context of an advertising, and also I'm seeing a lot of memes that don't make any sense at all. And it's like, look, if I want,
one of them looked like the guy was telling you to burn his books. I swear to God.
I remember seeing that. It was
like,
just like,
it's like, no, dude, I don't think that's what you're wanting to convey here.
Exactly.
But
yeah, so it's like, work on your elevator pitch. It's like, yeah, if you can pitch your book in a chat with its limited, character count, that is more effective than a meme that you cobbled together because it's only funny in your head. Okay, it's like, and the thing is though,
right.
And the thing is though, there are people who only use memes to advertise their books, and let me tell you, that is the fastest way to get your account snoozed.
Yes.
I haven't seen any, like, really. It's like, because if all you're posting is memes during a campaign, you're getting your shit snoozed. And not only that, but as marketers, we're not going to share that, because those are going to get, because people aren't going to pay attention to us. If they're not paying attention to you directly, they're not going to pay attention to us. So it's like, what we want to see is that we want to see artwork. We want to see elevator pitches. We want to see your covers. It really is. It really is, because it's like, then it's like, that book. Oh, and here's the thing. Yeah, we remember your book, but not the way you want us to.
No.
That's the thing. So, use it very sparingly. Yes, that's what happens. We just mute your campaigns, which is the opposite of what you want people to do when you're running a campaign.
And if you want to do that on your personal wall, and it makes sense, and you think it's funny and cute and whatever, and some of your friends might get it because they know your work, put it on your personal page, fine. But do not group share that shit, because there's going to be a lot of people in these groups that have no idea who you are, what your project is, whatever. And we're growing and expanding daily. I mean, we've got 300 new members in a fucking week's time.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
mind you, just for changing the name of the group.
Just from changing the name of the group and doing just a couple of little advertisements for people to join, like not even paid, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, your shit will be removed, because we don't want to see it. We don't want to see your memes.
Right. We want to
see your work.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, because here's the thing. It's like, I know that it's like, look, we spent all Friday, really lamenting this, that it's like, yes, especially, creators who aren't, it's like that we're creating books and stories that we want to tell. We're not catering our books to a very specific, narrow audience that has certain expectations, and that's all the type of books that they buy. We're telling our own stories. We're not following a formula, and that, yes, it makes it a hard sell, but the thing is, though, it's like, we still have to sell our books, and memes, what we found, is not really the most efficient way to do it. It's like, in fact, what we found is that it's extremely counterproductive. It's hard enough for us to promote our books. It's bad enough that there are decisions that we have to make that that maybe it's not in the spirit of what we want representing our book, but it gets attention for the algorithm. I mean, that's I mean, it's like I said, but one we know for sure, absolutely know for sure, memes are not working the way you think they are.
No.
So if you're using memes, kind of,
reel that shit in. Keep that for your personal stuff. Keep that for your friends and family.
Yeah, but we really, really, really don't recommend them. So we've been changing up some stuff a bit since our conversation on Friday, and that's what it is. It's like, the title of the show is, taking our own advice. It's like, what are we willing to do for our own work? That's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's like, well, you guys know what we mean. I mean, we did a whole thing on Friday when we were talking about kind of like creating very specific artwork in order to tickle the algorithm. I think Frog G would say that, right? That tickle the algorithm or something. And the thing is, though, what was funny is that my mother actually clarified this for me. Here I am, flattery gets you everywhere, Nicholas. So, it's like, so my mom actually clarified the entire episode in pretty much.
Yeah, I love your mom for this.
One word, well, actually 2 words. She goes, "Oh, James Bond posters." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "James Bond posters. You know how it's like rated and stuff like that. The girls don't look like that in the movie, but they're all on the poster like that. And James Bond is like this big, if he's even on there."
Yeah, right.
Going, holy crap. That's
She
exactly
nailed it. She nailed it.
That's exactly what we're talking about. It's like that we need to create kind of like James Bond posters for our comics. But here, but it also, the spirit of it, it's like we also want to not go overboard with that imagery and still kind of like, and this is where kind of the middle ground we're trying to find here. Like still keep it in context to what we're doing without feeling like we're completely going misleading on people. But I had a friend yesterday, I was telling him this whole dilemma, and he goes, "Oh, isn't that the whole point of variant covers?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's like variant covers. It's like you're not buying variant covers for the inside. It's like you're buying variant covers for the cover. So the fact that the inside doesn't look anything like the cover, that's almost like an expectation. So even if you're using this different type of artwork to represent your book, it's like, I don't know, is he being generous? Is he, it's like, he's pretty much saying is like, in comics, we kind of already have this expectation of the interior is not necessarily matching with the marketing that goes with it. I think Pops had said on Friday, like marketing and your book is they're kind of like 2 different things. There it is. So that's kind of the thing. So it's kind of, putting my money where my mouth is. So I have the Eagle Raven Volume 1 campaign coming up after this one. So there's a couple of things that I had to really focus on. The fact that it's a trade paperback that's coming up, which is a harder sell for us. That's our experience. Me and JD has found that trade paperbacks don't do as well on Kickstarter. And the only thing that we could really lend to that is that Kickstarter is really fond of collectability. Kickstarter is where you really, like people love variant covers and all that. And they love, their imagery. So
issue 1.
Right. Issue 1s. That's why there's always a
dip on issue 2. But the trick is to get them back as your series continues, you know. So if you can get them back, that means that they're reading your stuff. So that's what you really want to. So I have the trade paperback. So taking all this that I've been learning, okay. So what am I doing? What am I going in and scrambling to update for volume 1 of Eager Raven? So I decided that I was going to do another metal bookmark as a stretch goal incentive. And this is going to be kind of like, so if you remember I think it was my first issue where I did the metal bookmark. Unfortunately, I don't have one. I have it over there, but I'm not going to reach. Actually, let me see. I should be able to reach it.
Mine's in a book somewhere.
Yeah, it's my leash. I have my headphones on a leash, so let's see. Yeah. All right. So, all right. There we go. Everything's falling. Okay. So this is the metal bookmark, if everyone remembers, that I had for, I think it was the issue 1 campaign. I don't quite remember, but this is the bookmark. So what I'm going to be offering is a second bookmark that's going to be kind of like the matching one to this, except it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a let's just say it's going to be kind of like the other side of this bookmark. Let's just put it that way.
But what?
Right. Right. Exactly. So I'm doing that. And also I'm going to be offering up a special reissue of issue 1 with another nude cover. So I'm going to do another nude cover variant. I still have to finish up the piece. I have it here to finish it up. So actually, can I reach that? You know, it's like,
Lage.
Here we go. Okay, so I just have to finish this up. Luckily, I have Band-Aids on it already, so we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to finish up this piece, and this is going to be the cover for a special reissue of issue 1, which you will only get in a special tier with the trade paperback. If you just want the trade paperback, you'll still be able to get it. But if you want this special variant, it's going to be only in a level where you get the trade paperback and this variant. So, you know, so that's the other option that we're going with. And the other thing that I was working on is I was working on the front pieces, what we were talking about, the thumbnails, the thumbnails for the campaign.
Attention grabbers.
Exactly. These are going to be my little Bond girl attention grabbers. And but what I'm going to do with these are going to be, I haven't decided if they're going to be prints or postcards. It depends on, you know, how I end up, how the final pieces look and how they lay out if they lay out correctly for, you know. So these are going to be prints that are going to be offered up as stretch goals, but these will be the images that I will be using as the thumbnail to tickle that algorithm. Now, here's the thing, though. We were discussing about, it's like, okay, you know, it's like, how far do we go with this? But we're also talking about, okay, there's several different types of aesthetics that work on Kickstarter, because, you know, it's like, yeah, it's very easy to say go tits out, literally. You know, I mean, it's like that's what the nude cover is for, essentially. You know, that's what the bookmark is kind of, you know, what I'm going for, right? But the thing is, though, there's also a certain aesthetic that people like on Kickstarter, and it's like, and you know, they like the manga looking stuff. They like, I don't know, they just like things. You know, you can either go, like, if you're doing like a horror comic, if you go full gore, that seems to be like a very popular thing, you know, and with everything else, it's like, well, yeah, the opposite of that is that you go full tits out. You know, you got, you know, the secretary from Powerpuff Girls, you know, using the equivalent of that, or you're very aesthetic. Like, there's just something very feminine and beautiful and that type of thing. So we're going to test out which one of these works. So I have my 4 images here that I still have to color. So and the thing is, these are going to be stretch goals, a stretch goal postcards / prints. I haven't decided, but the theme that I kind of went with that fit the project without me feeling completely ooky about it is Lodos Wars. So if anyone remembers this 80s anime, it's like just look it up. It's LOD load O. It's spelled the way it sounds. So it's Lodos Wars. It was a medieval fantasy, like iconic anime from the 80s. And it was this, and what I really loved is it's the end credit scenes, which were just like these very romantic Musha inspired Art Nouveau pieces. It had nothing to do with the series, but they were there. So that was kind of like the vibe I was going for. So this is going to be the first image that I'll be using. So as we can see, very, very kind of like romantic and, kind of, anime, going to be like rose petals and sparkles all over the place type of thing. So this is kind of what the angle that I'm going for, right? So this is the second one. So this is going to be the second one. So this first one I'm calling Wild Magic. This is going to be the Wild Magic print. You got to make a decision. Pretty much, yeah. Patrick, that's exactly what it is.
I like that he didn't say or, because sex and violence works.
Right, exactly. So this second piece is called The Dance Lesson. And so this is the second one. This is going to be the second piece. So like every week, I'm going to be switching out these images on the campaign, kind of to see like which ones people react to more. So this is the second one. This third one, this one's called Obsession. This is the Obsession print. Yeah, this one, we're definitely going to keep an eye on this one to see how this one works out. So this is the Obsession one. This one, we're going to keep an eye on this one, right, Nita, to see how.
Yes, ma'am.
This one, and then this last one, which is called the Silk Rose. This one I kind of like went with a little middle ground on this, kind of like you push it just a tad. So this is going to be the last one. So these are the pieces so I will be coloring these up, and like these are going to be the pieces that I use on my campaign to kind of see if people react to them in terms of the algorithm. But they will be offered up as prints, /postcards.
What about the originals, Daphne?
I haven't decided yet because I'm feeling a little greedy. So I'm feeling a little greedy right now. So I'm not. I haven't made any decisions about these originals yet. So we'll see. They're a little too fresh. They're a little too fresh right now. So so that's what I'm kind of deciding. That's you see, and that kind of like a lead on to kind of like the next thing I wanted to talk about,
which is what she's going for.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like I want to see because if I don't need to go like full on out, I'd rather not. But it's like if I can get some traction just doing this type of artwork, I'm not mad. Yeah, well, that's pretty much the definition of marketing. I mean, companies, they spend billions of dollars every year on that one question, so I mean, it's like, and I think that I kind of, like I said, I was trying to find a middle ground between being completely manipulative and actually doing artwork that I really like. And so far, I'm firmly in this is artwork that I really, really like doing. And as far as I'm concerned, even though it's it's kind of like a romanticized version of what the book is about, the vibe that I want is there.
Right.
So because I showed Nita the pictures, and I'm like, I don't know why I resisted so much. This is exactly what I'm going for.
Because you overthink.
Yeah, I overthink. Yes, I do. I overthink. I was very overthinking, and I was like, wait, this is exactly what I want. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that it's all testing, yes, I do get that a lot. I know I should be going outside more. Although I literally was touching grass the other day because I was weeding.
Like?
I was weeding the front, my front yard. So I was literally touching grass. So, but yeah, you are correct though. I mean, it's like I overthink things, and it's like when I really should just go with the natural flow, kind of like with our change. With the title, we're just going with a natural flow. I don't think we're forcing anything. I think we're just being a little bit, we're being specific. We're just being a little bit prettier, I guess, a little bit more aesthetic, and and see if people react to that, and
oh, they do. Let me tell you, I've noticed the difference already. One, go look at the views on the House of Bob. They've all gone up, and also on dispatches, just cover card. That's all we did. Didn't advertise it. Nothing. Views have gone up.
Yeah, we C. Michael created a new mascot for his show, and there you have it. It's like sometimes that's just all it takes. To just get that bump going. So do we have that comes later. That's the other book.
Coming.
That's coming. It's
coming, and so will you. What?
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It's just no fine wine before it's time. So do we have any other bumps or
actually I have we do have a couple things. We've got JD still has the Oswald Chronicles. If I was a few inches taller, it's got 6 days left on Kickstarter.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So head on over there, check him out. Links in the comments. We got Nina, whose video I ran earlier does not have a card on it. I will put one on there. Sunrise Blossom 1 through 3. She's getting ready to launch in August, I believe. I'm not 100% on that, but I will definitely let you know. She's in sign up, so check it out. And Haslam Productions has Roadkill Rampage 3.
They're getting ready to launch. Look at that! Look at that violence right there.
Blood and guts, and I cannot wait to see what they do for their Kickstarter video because the last one was spectacular, and I hope we get a copy of that real soon. So sign up for that one too, and badoom. And so you want to throw a bump, Daphne?
Well, I mean, if you have one, I mean, because it's because I kind of want to switch over to another topic that I guess is kind of related, but I'm not sure. So you want to break it up with a bump, or just go ahead and start yapping?
Yeah, just roll with it.
Okay. There we go. So the other thing that I wanted to
wait, hold on before you start. Are you going to get angry?
I'm not sure. Oh, no, I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's like that. Maybe the chat will get angry.
Oh, good. Let's piss them off.
Maybe
I
the
love
chat,
ruffling feathers.
So a couple of weeks ago, we had an interview with Dojo Kun, and he was talking about doing his comics or whatnot, and he had made mention, right, and he had made mention about the fact that that he just wanted to have fun with his comics and not have politics in it. That he doesn't do comics with politics in it. And, and this is something that I hear a lot of creators say. It's like, I don't want politics in my comics or this, that, and the other thing. I don't want politics in my media. I don't do politics in my work and this, that, the other thing. And I just find it So Nita, who's doing a political comic? What does that mean? Chat, answer the question. What does it mean to do a political comic, or that a comic does not have politics in it? Or
that does not have politics in it?
The opposite. It's like, what does it mean when we say that this comic is too political? What does any of that mean?
To me, too political is when your belief system is being forced down my throat and it goes against the natural progression of your story. Like, because I don't think it's even possible to agenda driven, maybe, perhaps. See, the way I would describe it, a lot of people are going to find very offensive, and it's totally, but it totally isn't where I would be going with that. Damn it, Daphne, I didn't feel like being canceled this morning.
Well, hey. I kind of think, because a lot of people use that as their marketing. It's like, it all boils down to marketing, right? So it's like, so a lot of people are using that, right? That's like, oh, I don't have a political book. I don't have, whatever, an agenda-driven book or something. Right. And it's like, but what's really the definition of that? Like, what does it mean when people say that?
To me, it's when something is being shoved down your throat. God, I don't know how to do this.
Well, okay, let me. Okay, so it's because here's the thing. And what's funny is that I got to give credit where credit is due, because Arthur talked about this on a recent video that he did. About a comic book creator that he was following. Well, okay, but so he was talking about a creator that he was following who's doing this whole comic book thing, and he was saying how he didn't want to do political comics, that other people were doing political comics, and Arthur said, but it's like, yeah, but you're a libertarian. You can't expect me to believe that your beliefs, that is part of your personality, is not going to affect your storytelling.
Oh, no, absolutely. There's no such thing as a politics-free book, no matter how hard you try. That your personal beliefs, agendas, whatever, are going to come through your work. But when it's like, when you're driving that nail home, like, it's just like that. Don't force feed me. Until I'm like,
right.
You want to have gay characters, great. You want to have black characters, great. You want to have Asian characters, Hispanic characters. You want to have this, what the fuck ever you want to have. You want to talk about current day politics, like literal fucking newsworthy politics. Fine, have that here and there, but don't sit there and cram that down someone's throat like you're going to change their minds in 28 pages of a fucking art book. Like,
it's fine. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because that you said that particular, like, you're going to change minds, and I think that's kind of where the problem is that when books are written, instead of telling a story, it's being told in a way that the writer thinks they're going to change minds. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of, because there's a documentary about George Carlin that we were watching. And they were talking about when George Carlin, it was at the part where George Carlin really, really started getting political with his, overtly political with his stand-up. And I think it was not Larry Sanders. It was Jerry Seinfeld who said that, it's like, okay, it's like, all right, so he wants to get political in his thing, in his stand-up. And he said something to the effect of, you see, the problem with that is that I have never had a comedian change my mind on anything, but it made me respect the comedian more. I mean, I guess in this case, he was saying that he respected George Carlin for going more political, but don't think for a split second George Carlin's stand-up is going to change any opinions whatsoever. And I thought that it's like, oh, you know what? That's it. That's it. You know, it's like, because if you watch the George Carlin, politics and culture and identity are completely different. The line is, do not castigate someone if they don't like it and disparage an entire base of people you don't know. Deal with it. I mean, it's like, which technically is that's George Carlin's shtick. I mean, it's like that he just says, you know, that he literally calls up whole groups of people stupid, you know, for believing what they do, right? But here's the thing, though. He's saying that to an audience that already believes what he's saying. Right. He's not at I don't know, some kind of like GOP conference or something and telling these jokes. He's at, you know, he's in Seattle. You know, he's on college campuses. You know, it's like, so his audience already believes what he's saying. So even though he's speaking politically, his audience already believes it. And it's like what Jerry Seinfeld said, I've never had any comedian change my mind on anything. And I guess thinking about what Dojo Kun was saying, that it's like, I'm writing my stories to tell a story, not to change your mind on anything.
Right.
And I guess it's like, that's kind of, and you know what, I guess I just answered my own question. It's like, I guess that's what the difference is. It's like, if you're being spoke to, if you're reading something and you get the feeling, right, exactly, right. You know, it's like, and trust me, a lot of environmentalists probably hate his line of thinking, but, you know, yeah, that's kind of, you know, he's not wrong. That it's like, if you're reading a story and you start getting a nagging feeling that this story is trying to pressure you to do something, i.e. change your mind,
you don't enjoy it
when it gets political. I just want to say this out to everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching this. Can we please stop using the term woke? Can we please stop using that? It's like, because
that's the wokest thing you've ever said, Daphne.
Because one, everyone is using it incorrectly. Again, it's one of those words that got appropriated from African American vernacular. It does not mean what you think it does. And the thing is that it's gotten to a point that every time I hear the word, I'm already judging you based on you using that word. I'm like automatically judging you, because it's gotten to a point that so many people are using it pretty much to mean there's a woman character, there's a black character, the white guy is not the main character, you know, and it's like, so too many people are using that word in a very disingenuous fashion, and it's reflecting on everybody who uses it. So for the grace of God, please stop using the word woke. If you don't like, you know, if you don't like the way a story is being told because certain changes are being made, that's obviously being made to serve an agenda, say that. Okay, be very clear as to what you're saying, because woke doesn't mean what you think it does, and it's only making me think other things about you that may not be accurate as well, because other people are using it in a very, very disingenuous, very, you know, they're using the word, and there's a particular phrase I'm trying to remember. I'll remember it after the show, but it's just they're using it in a very deliberate, disingenuous way. So please stop using that word. You know, it's like, it's like, because you don't get lumped into people you shouldn't be lumped into because of that. Bad faith. It's bad faith usage. Okay, people are using that word in bad faith, and I beg you, do not get lumped in with the people who are using it. So that's the thing. So Right, because the thing is, it's like, well, like when I write my own stories, because I keep saying, it's like Tall Tales is a political book. Even though it's an adventure, the baseline of it is political. It's court politics, I mean, and so to say that it's not a political book is misleading, because the whole basis of what happens in Tall Tales is political back scheming, right? So technically, we cannot have that book without politics. Eager Raven, it's like, even though it is not the main function of the story, politics, there's a huge political underline that goes that happens that is the foundation of the story. It's all court politics, though. It's all, it's a story about, it's discrimination and class and and class responsibility and all these like different, it's still politics in the context of the story, but it's not necessarily your politics, so it's very general enough that people can read. And that's the thing, they read whatever they want into the story, they pick up on things. And I think what happens is that when you have, like, say, right, exactly. And that's really what it is. It's like when people start to kind of like shoehorn current events literally into a, like, look, George Lucas has always said the original Star Wars trilogy was based on World War II and the Vietnam War. Okay. Right. Is Star Wars about World War II and Vietnam? Absolutely not. I mean, but that was his basis for the story. I mean, it's like, sure, you have that soft space fascism going on.
Because focusing on specifics, modern day specifics, really, it takes away from your content unless it's... unless you were like Anne Frank or the one in a million that produced something during that time period. Like right now, COVID's the big thing. Everybody's wanting to write about COVID this and COVID that. Let me tell you something. In 8 years, nobody's going to give a fuck about your COVID.
Right.
There's going to be there's going to be a billion people writing about COVID during the pandemic, and guess what? You probably had better stories to tell. So why don't you focus on those stories instead? It's really
it's the same
old.
thing. It's what I saw with 9/11. I mean, because I was working in the city, I saw it happen, went through it, the whole 9 yards, right? Didn't write a book about it. It's like, look, all I did was watch the towers fall and walk home with several million other people, or however many people are working in the city. So, but it wasn't a storytelling experience. But the funny thing is, because I was working at a print shop, a copy shop when that happened, and like for like that month or so after, especially a couple of months or so after 9/11, it's like the shop, I was inundated with people writing their memoirs. Right. All of a sudden, everybody in the zip code that I was working in all wanted to write their fucking memoirs in context to 9/11. And it's like, and I'm looking at this and it's like, bro, it's like, your story is not that interesting. Were you a firefighter that ran in there? I mean, it's like nobody, and even then firefighters are not writing stories about 9/11.
Right.
I mean, it's like, so it's, so it was just kind of like, it's like, it's kind of like a weird time period. So it's like, so going back to Star Wars, it's like another one that people like to, I've literally had people with a straight face say that Starship Troopers and RoboCop are not political movies. And it's like, bro, it's like, really? But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Because this is also another thing that people kind of like, that fine line. If you agree with the politics, it's not political.
Mm.
So before anybody criticizes something about being too political, let's kind of think about that fine line. Is it really, like the story is trying to get you to change your mind on something? Or is it because there's a part of the story where you don't agree with the underlying politics of it. You know, and like I said, and like Arthur had said, you know, it's like your personality is going to show up, your beliefs are going to show up in your work.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, regardless. I mean, it's like it's like, you know, that's like, say, it's like, look, how many ministers do we know, right? And they're all basing their books on a certain part of their ministry. You know, I mean, it's like, that's, you know, and the thing is, though, is that I wouldn't necessarily say that those are political books either. It's like, well, that's kind of the natural progression of it. You're a minister, and your content is going to reflect that. And it's like, and that's something, you know, it's kind of like whenever I read Bret Easton Ellis, you know, Bret Easton Ellis is a dark nihilistic asshole. So I expect his books to reflect that. You know? Oops. You know, so it's like, so I kind of expect that. But then again, there are people who watch Fight Club and say that that's not a political movie. And it's like, Fight Club was written by a gay guy literally talking about toxic masculinity before the term even existed. Yes, it is a political book. It's just that it's brought to you in a way, it's framed in a way where you can project your own feelings into it. But I think in the end, that's what makes good stories, is that you're able to kind of, on a certain way, project yourself into a story, even if the story does not cater to you directly. You know? Because some of the readings that I have gotten on Ego Raven have been fascinating, where people have been noticing things in the book that it's like, I didn't put that there, you did.
Right.
You know, and that's also another thing that when we're looking at media, we're watching media, that we have to keep in mind as well. Is what you're angry at really there, or are you just projecting? You know, but I think I did. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think that the answer is that if the story doesn't read like you're not trying to change my mind, then technically it's not a political book, because that's not the point of the story, you know. But here's the thing, though. It's like, just because a story has gay people in it doesn't make it political.
No.
The story has Black people in it, or has a woman as a main character, doesn't make it political. That's, I mean, and the thing is, though, if that's like kind of like, and that's also the reason why I want people to stop using the word woke, because that's usually where I see the word used in context. The second there's a female, it's like, Jesus Christ, I gotta put that Ferengi image in here, so it's like, so I could stop myself from saying females. Because it's like, it just seems like whenever there's, you know, a woman character, a Black character, a gay character, people out of the woodwork coming out, oh, that's woke. No, it's like, when what they're really saying is that I don't want anybody else other than a white guy as a main character for me to project myself on. And that's a completely different issue. And honestly, and like I said, I don't want, you know, it's like, I know that people in our chat, that the people who watch our show are smarter than that. You know, it's like, I know, you know, you guys are all smarter than that, but it's like, using these nonsense words is really, really trendy right now. And like I said, just like with the memes, maybe they only make sense in your head. But to everybody else, we're reading something else into that. And it's like, really, stop using the word woke. Really, please, I beg everybody, stop using the word woke. Just like I want everybody to stop using the word problematic. But that's usually not the word that I hear. Not from this bunch. Nobody here uses the word problematic, because we all know only chicken cutlets seem to use that word.
We're not triggering you today,
right?
Daphne.
Yes, we're not. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. I mean, it's like, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's like, I think that, because it's like, yeah, we all want to be entertained by these books. We all want to create work that is entertaining, that everybody can get into. But yeah, it's like, I'm not writing any of my stories to change anybody's minds about anything. It's like, I'm just telling you a story. I'm just telling you a story that maybe has certain things in it that maybe you might not agree with, or you might not, or it's like maybe you personally have an issue with. But in the context of my story, it's like, well, I'm kind of not asking you, to agree or disagree or anything. It's like, all I'm asking you is if you're enjoying the story and whether it flows, it's like, and that's all I'm doing, no, for real. It's like, if it's like, yeah, if they're literally words that if I see people use unironically, it's like my brain shuts off.
Right.
Problematic and woke are two of those words. I have a list. And yeah, and it's like, and honestly, and it's like, and usually these are people who don't deserve to get taken seriously if they're using those words unironically. So yes, I completely understand that. So when Dojo-kun was talking about not having politics, I guess it's like that clarifies it for me, that it's like, okay, that even though he has beliefs, he's not asking you to change your mind. He's not trying to push you to change your mind through a story. So it's like, so I just wanted to clarify that, because it's kind of been bugging me since that interview. So that's what it just boils down to. If, so it just be more conscientious about when you look at work and you criticize it and you have a knee-jerk reaction to it. Examine that knee-jerk reaction first before going, it's like, oh, you're trying this and that and the other thing. Because on a kind of like a separate tangent, but kind of related, I remember when Michael Odin was showing somebody a copy of The Embrace.
Oh.
And they got mad at him because The Embrace is a very emotional story. It's a story about a father's loss and losing his child and yada yada and all. I mean, it's like really, really, basic emotional stuff. And the guy actually resented the story, resented Odin for telling that story. He said, it's like, I resent the fact that you were trying to make me feel things from the story. And I thought that was like the most bizarre thing. So it's like, it's like, bro, it's like that you're telling me more about you than about Odin. I mean, so before we go on any tirades about something, let's examine it first and let's avoid using certain words. I think that just like when we changed the name, yes, exactly, count to 20. What was Meredith's rule for you, Nita? The 24-hour rule?
Yeah, wait 24 hours before making any decisions.
Right. And it's like, and really examine why you enjoy something, why you don't enjoy something. And let's be more clear about that too. Like I said, dovetailing into us changing the name, kind of slightly tweaking the name of the show and the channel and the branding. It's like specifics. Don't guess as to what people's intentions are, or let's not make people guess what our intentions are. Let's just say it, because it's like there's way too many people, disingenuous people, coming out in bad faith using these words to push an agenda. Because it's like they want you to make the definition of those words so that you react to it. They didn't have to say anything. They just had to throw that word out. And you're technically doing the heavy lifting for them. So let's not let them get away with that. Okay? It's like, let's ask for specifics. It's like if if people want to complain about, oh, white guys only write this type of book, ask them, what books are you reading that you're getting that opinion?
Right.
It's like, it's like, what books are you reading? Why are you reading those types of books? Just like we joke about titty books, right? But the thing is that we know that all books are not like that. So it's like, but the thing is though, if you have somebody come in and say, oh, all comics are all superheroes, all comics are all titty books, it's like, well, why are you only reading superheroes and titty books?
Why is that all you're buying? There's so much more out there.
Exactly.
It's I like titty books.
Right. Well, that's different. So, and if you don't like something, why are you giving it attention? Why are you giving it your support with your attention? We're in a social media platform where attention is currency. Why are you giving attention? Why are you paying the attention whore's price? Never pay the attention whore's price. Even though technically that's what marketing is. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, well, you know what? We all kind of know the difference, right? You know what? Maybe I'm running this topic a little too long. We're already a little over an hour. So you know what? Maybe it's like, look, I just got the temperature in this office down to 82 degrees. So you know what? Maybe I'm just overheating. So you know what? Let's all yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have to get yeah, exactly. No, then that's true too. That could be a whole other episode we could talk about as well. And maybe we should.
We will, and soon, because that needs to be addressed. Like,
yeah, it's like, you know what? Why is it that manga has their shit together? Why is that? So we'll talk about that on another show. But so on that note, I would like to thank everybody for joining us on this sweltering, moist Monday. At least, thank you, Nicholas.
You're late.
Yes, AJ, Mike, Jimmy. So joining us on this Monday, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for keeping it real, keeping it, and thank you for answering my question seriously. Thank you all for. I think I knew our chat was special. I knew it. And yes, and thank you to the 9 people who are watching us right now. And it's like, and you see our chat, we have lovely conversations. We know how to do that. So it's like, next time, come on over. Join the people in the chat. Let's have these conversations together. They're worth having. So on that note, if you want to see more about you want to read more about me, about my work, or see more artwork, all that fun stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWRKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you want to see sketches and current work in progress and all that other fun stuff. Check out my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, for semi-weekly art live streams, which also simulcasts through the Ragin 2 network. And while you're at egoworks.com, you can read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven, Air the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format. If you want to check out the story before you even support the campaign, that way, you know exactly what you're getting into when the campaign launches in August. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. But I highly recommend going over to the Kickstarter and supporting the last 40-something hours that we have on the campaign, where you can pick up those 20 issues in 4 beautiful trade paperbacks that'll fit nicely on your shelf, and you'll be able to read at any time without having to stare at your phone. So I highly recommend that. So Nita, what do you got for the final thoughts?
I have no final thoughts. I'm crampy and moody and need a nap.
There you go. Sounds like a plan.
I need a nap. Naps before I make any decisions.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and that's the thing too. Yeah, always make sure that you just don't need a nap before you make any important decisions. There you go. So there you go. So thank you, everybody. Catch me on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, where I'll probably be working on these Kickstarter pieces. Right, and talking more about that or whatever you guys want to talk about. The chat's always open, the conversation's always open, so you can join me there for 2 hours of drawing, and then we'll be back on Friday where we can continue our conversations and see where that goes. So and try to change your minds. Actually, no, we'll actually just demand that you do things. We're not going to change your mind. We're just going to make demands, and because that's how we roll here. It's a dictatorship. So, and yeah, it's hot in here. So I got to get out of here. So we'll talk to everybody then. So as always, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake your accomplishments. Hit the button.
Wow, we're out of here.